whose past matters more, their past, a man or a woman? So man, green, woman, red. Whose past matters more? I'm talking in life, in business, in relationships. Whose past matters more? Go ahead.
Sounds like a math problem.
Wait, green is for men?
Green is for men.
Whose past matters more?
Nat, do you have a thing?
No, they're going to get me one because I left mine.
Too easy.
So that's a woman, a man. Carmen?
I don't know.
I see green, so I'm going man.
No, I honestly.
Okay. So
all right, we'll see how this
a woman.
plays out.
So here we go. Why do you say a man's?
Okay, so in my belief system, in my faith, we believe the man is the leader of a household. The man is a leader in every regard. He's a leader, right? So if the man has a crazy past and doesn't know how to govern himself, has self-discipline, has the ability to, because he has influence in the home, and everything starts in the home, I believe. Even our society, like where we're at, it starts in the home. So if you don't have a strong leader, a kind, loving, generous, strong leader, then it will affect everybody in the home. It will affect the woman, it will affect the children. And so I think we're seeing a crisis because the men are in crisis. And so that's why I think the men need to like be good. Their past needs to be on top.
So there's a I love the story right there. There's also an element of, all right, so the men are in crisis. What does their future look like? So that's another component. Why did you say that? What was your answer?
That's more for women.
Okay, so explain. You said women's past matters more.
Yeah,
Okay.
100%. So for men, nobody cares what your past is. If you're, the finished product of you is great, you're doing well financially, you're a respectable person. But with women, if you no matter what you look like right now, if you've been ran through and have a bad reputation, then that's not something that's going to be desirable to a guy. But turn the tables, like if a guy's had like a chaotic past, it's kind of admirable if he's turned it around and made something of himself. I don't make the rules. It's just the way it is.
Yeah, it's just the societal standards. It's just the way it is. Life isn't fair. Like it's just like what it boils down to, we do live in a double standard. Like there is certain things that you can get away with as a guy that you can't get away with as a girl. So like I almost didn't put one up because I can see the nuance on each side. It depends what it is that you're going for. Like, okay, like if you're a man that's looking for a wife to settle down with and have kids, like you're not gonna like choose a girl that's like you can see is a 3 or 4. You know what I'm saying? Like, or has like a very like tumultuous, like promiscuous past. Like that's not gonna be like the girl that you might necessarily choose to be the wife and the mother of your children. And the same way goes vice versa. If you're a successful woman, you have things going for you, you're not gonna necessarily go with a guy that you know is gonna be like a fuckboy, like or has that tendency, or like you look at everything is circumstantial. So it kind of depends on what it is that you're looking for. Like, what are you on the market for? Are you on the market for like a jump off? Or are you on the market for a boyfriend, a husband, a wife, a girl? So everything is circumstantial.
A jump off. I haven't heard that term since I was hanging out with my NBA buddies, but I get it.
I feel the same way. That's why I was like,
Here's where I'm going with this, but everyone's going to have a chance to respond. So I get it. A lot of people will sort of be more on Brandon's position, especially like the whole concept is a man's future is way more imperative than his past, and a woman's past is way more influential than her future. Anyway, that's a whole conversation. But where am I going with this? Election season, Kamala Harris has been sort of catapulted, anointed, almost like a coronation to the presidency.
Well, it's very indicative
so
of
the
the
question is, excuse me, excuse me, maybe you didn't get the rules. The question is, how much do we really know about Kamala Harris, and how much do we know about her past? So now that she's in the spotlight, a lot of these skeletons are starting to come out of the closet. So, and I don't mean that in like a literal way, the skeletons in the closet. You're starting to hear a lot more stories. So, and by the way, I'm not necessarily focusing on Kamala. You'll see where I'm going with this. But here's some of the stories we're hearing about Kamala. Do we have that clip from Judge Joe Brown? By the way, we had Judge Joe on the podcast, on the PBD podcast. People ask me, hey, dude, I saw the Tate interview. That was sick. Yo, Vivek Ramaswamy, yo, Candace Owens. Like, what's your favorite interview you've ever done? I was like, yo, low key, this guy, Judge Joe Brown, was a beast. Were you a part of that one as well? I mean, you were
there. Yeah, I was there.
Behind the scenes.
We watch it.
He's asked a very specific question about Kamala, because this guy's like a judge. She was a prosecutor. Like, he's in the mix. Here's what he had to say about her being on the quote unquote casting couch. Go ahead, Troy. Start the clip.
A backtrack to a comment you made earlier about the casting couch. So that's true? Like, because I always heard this rumor that she slept her way to the top. That's true?
She did. She's old. She's 60 years old. Look, if you want to find out about it, go online to the LA Times morgue. They used to have it so for a fee, you could get them to pull articles. They've been reporting on her for 30-some years. She's in her 20s, and Willie Brown took her up as his mistress. There was a medical firm that dealt with San Francisco. He got her a 15-hour-a-week part-time job there, which she never showed up to, according to the Times.
OMG.
But they paid her $72,000 a year for 15 hours a week. And understand, she's in her 20s, which is 30-some years ago. That's big money now. So he got her promoted up, so she did 20 hours a week. Times reported she never showed up, but she got $120,000 a year. So he bought her a 750i BMW, which was the top of the line at the time.
Okay.
So he set her
Troy,
up well.
He goes on to basically say something else because I want to land this plane. I think it's at 4:45. And then I want to basically have a conversation surrounding this. Do you have the second part of that clip?
Yeah, it's right on it.
Go ahead.
I'm not holding it against somebody because they did it for recreation, but, you know, when you do the casting couch thing, that's a bad move. I know some women in Hollywood that did the casting couch and those who refused. The ones that got refused went further than the ones who did. The ones who did ramped up real quickly, but then they're a piece of ass. Everybody knows it, so they get passed around. And then, did they really have talent, or was it just they jump-started their careers and then the lack of talent shows? Or did you have talent and do it the hard way?
All right. So we know how Judge Joe Brown feels about Kamala.
Yeah.
Here's what I'll say. Agree with him, disagree with him. She's about to be maybe the president of the United States.
Yeah.
Straight up. And listen, Joe Biden in the next 30 days, she might be president of the United States before that she actually gets elected in 2024. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens with Joe. But I'm not even so much focused on Kamala because these stories that are coming out, they've been permeating basically in the media. Willie Brown, Judge Joe Brown, we've seen these things. But does anybody know the name of her husband?
Doug Emhoff.
No.
Okay. What was it?
Doug Emhoff.
Did anybody know that? Be honest.
No.
Okay. So this is the man who could potentially be the first husband
Doesn't even sound right.
in the United States. Sounds a little weird, right? You know, if you elect Pete Buttigieg, that's happening.
Oh God.
Viable candidate. So the current second husband, Doug Emhoff, he's sort of a dirty dog.
Oh
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
You know about this?
I do.
He was stooping.
I do, yeah. I didn't know the
What a
name
word.
because it's kind of irrelevant.
So
but
pull up
yeah,
this
I
clip
do,
right here.
yeah.
Pull up the
I knew he
article.
was a stripper?
Here, Kamala Harris's husband, Doug Emhoff, admits to
God.
cheating on his first wife after the bombshell report. He impregnated the nanny. He pulled the
nanny.
presidential Arnold Schwarzenegger move.
Except unlike Arnold, he made her get an abortion.
Ooh.
Aaron
Or
going in
so
with-
we're told.
Okay, so you
We're
know
not-
about
we're
this
not-
story.
yeah, we're not
What do you know about this story?
Well, I know that they're not sure if she actually got an abortion, but there's speculation that he pressured her to get an abortion, and there's no daughter in her life right now. So
Yeah, it's one of two things. Either she had the abortion or he's abandoned his duty as a father and
not sure
is not
what's worse.
acknowledging his child. Exactly.
Interesting. So this is about to be the first husband, potentially. I don't know. Roll this clip
Deadbeat daddy.
and turn up the volume. Go ahead.
That's crazy.
She got his first with the nanny. Got her pregnant.
Always the white man.
That is the second husband, Doug Emhoff,
First wife.
who allegedly cheated on his first wife and nanny.
Bombshell. Uh-oh.
That's
second
the
gentleman
first
before
wife
you.
and his daughter.
What?
He's got a guilty face.
He just looks
That's the nanny.
That's the nanny.
Why are you hiring a hot nanny, you idiot? She's like,
Yeah, but that's not even like the woman he married, though. That's
No, what's
us.
worse is he did this with a not hot nanny.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. But this is the times that we're in, guys. Like,
But was she
this is-
hot at the time?
That's what matters.
that was the wife.
Carmen. But we,
You know, some people just deserve each other.
Interesting. Okay, so the affair allegedly happened. Here it is, guys.
That's
The affair allegedly happened in 2009 with the nanny. She taught at a private school attended by his 2 kids. By the way, that was 2009. 5 years later, he marries Kamala. So there's a 5-year gap. Okay.
Sus.
So they've been married for 10 years. She became the VP in 2020. So obviously she's been in the mix for about 4 years now. The incident was disclosed to President Biden's vetting committee 4 years ago. And he still chose Kamala as the VP, knowing that there's some skeletons in the closet here. Listen, Trump shouldn't talk. He said, quote unquote, during my first marriage, Kirsten and I, that was the wife, I went through some tough times on account of my actions. I took responsibility. We worked through tough things as a family and have come out strong on the other side. Fine. Obviously, Kamala knew about this before she married the guy. Wasn't like it came up as a secret. So the question that we're going to have now is, how much does a man's past matter to you guys when you're vetting him for a new relationship? Meaning, are you willing to put the past in the past for the right guy? And here's what I'll say. You know, you find out that he was a cheater. You found out that he was a scammer. You found out that he went to jail. You found out that he was a criminal. You found out. Here's what I'll say, and then is anybody who dates, you're married?
17.
So you're into men, you're into men, you're into women, you're into men, I'm into women.
Men.
Hey, I'm a freak elite. I'm a freak elite, but I'm down.
All right, I'm into women.
I would date like sexual escapades, stuff like that. Like super down, but
so
like,
the point
men
is
what I date,
me and Brandon are out of this conversation because we're into women. It's all good. So this is for the ladies in the panel.
Right.
The men watching are be like, all right, cool, what's up? I got a pass. I got a checkered pass. Here's what I want to know. Here's what I'll tell you. And you guys let me know because I want to understand from your ladies' perspective about men. And I've been very vocal about this. There might be girls I meet that you just know this isn't wifey. Yeah. They got the arm sleeve tattoo. They're maybe doing OnlyFans. They're doing stuff that like, I'm not bringing this girl home from mom, but you know, she might not be Mrs. Right, but she might be Mrs. Tonight. Yes. We understand that concept. But I'm not marrying this girl. Meaning whatever she's done in the past, the more tattoos she has, by the way, more problems. A woman's past matters. Like if I find out, oh, this amazing girl, oh, dude, like, don't you know that, like, all your boys banged her? I'm like, what? I'm like, I'm out. Doesn't matter what her future is. Her past incredibly matters to a man.
Yeah.
Now, what I want to understand, because you didn't necessarily agree with this, but I want to understand from you ladies, because you all said that a man's future is more important than his past, right? You guys all said this. You mentioned the fact that women sort of just hang around at the finish line and pick the winners and see what's going on. Women don't care about men's problems. They don't care about what you did. They just want to know what you're going to be doing. So are you willing to put a man's past in the past? What say you, Aaron?
Well, for me, no. But that's because I have very high standards. And I think it depends. But generally, you can't teach someone to be a good person. So the examples you gave, which are like cheating, jail, things like that, like, no, if you cheated on someone, you were morally comfortable with doing that. And so I would not be able to look past that. But I could understand like a girlfriend of mine advising her with somebody who maybe didn't have his shit together, slowly got his life together. I'd say, yeah, like he picked himself up and that's great. I'm just different because I've always had my stuff together.
Okay. How about you? How long you been married?
17 years.
Nicole.
Yes.
Congratulations.
All right.
Thank you.
Congrats, baby.
What made you pick the husband, and did he have a checkered past? Was he a perfect angel?
So we got
married. Did he improve? How does that work?
So we got married when we were 16, 17.
What?
That's like super rare. Like you don't even see that
Is that even legal?
I had to get signed off. I had to get signed off by my mom. Yeah.
Wow.
That is so cute.
In what state?
Here. I'm born and raised Florida girl.
Florida. Florida.
Are you Latino?
I love it.
Yeah, I am. Yep. Well,
Cuban?
I'm half Cuban and
there we go.
half American. Yeah. So I think it's just it's determined by how the individual is behaving at the time and what is going on in their life at that moment. I think I'm all about redemption. So I believe that people can change, and I believe people can radically change for the rest of their life. And so I think people deserve that chance. But there's red flags all over the place when you're talking to someone or when you're looking at what they do throughout their life and how they behave and how they carry themselves. So if you have somebody who has made that change and the fruit is there and it's very visible, then I think that that's an opportunity that you can pursue, and just with caution.
How long have you been married now?
17 years.
Wow. So you've been married literally half your life.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
16, 17, what?
That's beautiful.
Okay.
Yeah.
Rain,
Yeah.
you said that a man's past doesn't matter as much as a woman's past. Why'd you say that?
Well, I'm saying that because of like what he said about, whenever I'm talking to anybody, even like man or woman, I'm looking at what they're doing now and their future and what they have in front of them, because that's all that matters. Like, your past is your past. Let's just keep it back there. Like, who cares? But let's say, like, if it's a woman and you're doing like OnlyFans and like you've been ran through like what he said, I have a really strong belief with that, where I'm like, I will not even be friends with you. Like, I don't want to post you. I don't want you near me, because that's just not a good look. That's not what other people would like, and I don't like that.
Well, OnlyFans doesn't stay in the past either. So.
Oh yeah, that's on there forever.
It's very present.
Are you trying to say that the internet is forever?
Yeah.
Damn.
Unless you get that wiped.
Carmen, what do you say about this? Because you were the one person that was like, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm
I
curious
think
to hear what you're gonna say.
It depends on the situation, right? Because it's like, if someone's a cheater, I don't think that depends on if you're a guy or a girl. It's like what you were saying. It's your morals, and that matters to me.
Yeah.
As an adult, I think that, I want someone that is gonna bring quality into my life. As a trans person too, like, it matters. Like, you have to have a strong conviction in who you're with, like, and I'm the kind of person that, like, my existence is not up for debate. And it's not something that I also wear on my sleeve, like, I have a ton of other things going on in my life, and I need someone to be a support sometimes, and so, yeah, I think it just matters. It comes down to the person, it's not about if you're a woman or a man or whatever.
Yeah.
Carolina, why were you so interested in what Carmen had to say?
I think we're in two different points in our transition. Like, she's 15 years in. I'm like short of 4, and like from my experience, like for me, honestly, like there are certain things like already like off rip, like just from what I've seen and like my own upbringing, like your past matters, like man or woman. Like I already, like if I already know I'm looking at you 5 minutes into some conversation, like I already know, okay, in my mind, I checked you off recreational use only. So like it doesn't matter. Like there are certain things where like, okay, like you know what I mean? Like, okay, like, you're not gonna just miraculously change. Like that's like the diamond in the rough. Like that doesn't usually happen. People, I study your pattern. You know what I'm saying? I listen to what you say, but I believe what I see. So like patterns are very indicative of what it is that you're gonna do or how you're gonna behave. So if up to this point, this is how you've moved and you've operated, there's a high chance that you're probably gonna do the same thing again.
Risky.
You know
It's
what I'm
risky,
saying?
but at
Like,
the same time, you do have to give a little bit of grace to people who can be conscious of their decisions or their bad decisions and have grown and are smart about it.
yeah, I agree. But that doesn't.
That
That's like
matters.
usually that's not the world we live in. I think the world is very, like I said, red pill queen. The world is very cutthroat. It's competitive. It is what it is. Like no one's gonna give, like, first impressions matter. Presentation matters. So like off rip, if this is what people like. This is like, they look at you first glance and it's really hard to change someone's mind once it's already made up. So you can be like this, like, you can come, like, how many girls do we not know that had like this tumultuous past and they turn it around, and then like, it still doesn't matter. Like no one cares about the merit of where they're at right now. Like it's very hard. Like people don't, that's just not how
they
people
judge.
think. Yeah, they judge. Like that's just what it is. Like it's, and then going back to like what we were saying, like there are women that I know personally that are like high-end escorts that don't have like the sleeves, don't have none of that.
That's why they're high-end.
They're high-end, like high-end that you would not know that like that's what they did.
But
and they've turned their life around. They stopped hooking, and then they have a full white man that.
I'm not hear you, but I ain't buying that shit. Because there's always gonna be there's always gonna be something that comes up in a relationship that is gonna trigger a guy
you have game, babe. You have game, my love. But the average guy, how many guys have we not seen that this is like where podcasts like Fresh and Fit, or all of these men like Andrew Tate, like all of these like men that are like putting and shining a light on like the fuckery that women pull, like that we pull on men. Like there are girls that they have moved from they were 3 or 4 in their state. They moved and now they're married and with kids, and the guy has no idea that she was getting like that. She just got ran through by a whole football team when she was in high school. You know what I'm saying? So like, let's be real. Like,
it doesn't stop there.
These stories,
just the same thing as guys too. Like, how many times
at some point
that
facade is going to come.
Don't turn off the off switch.
Nat,
Getting ran through.
Do you want? By the way, let us know in the chat what you think matters. I don't know if we can be able to do a poll right here.
We did a poll.
But Nat, I'll let you weigh in, and I'm going to give the final word before we move to the next topic. Do you have anything you want to add here?
From people's past? Yeah, I think at the end of the day, people's past, man or woman, does matter.
Yeah,
I think
agree.
women are a little bit maybe more lenient to accept a man's past because they're looking to, get married and have kids. So they're maybe a little bit more willing to be understanding rather than a man. But at the end of the day, I've learned the hard way, people don't change.
No, they
people
don't. They just get
are
better.
who they are. And at the end of the day, they can maybe get better in certain areas. But at the end of the day, when shit hits the fan, you're going to go back to the old habits that you naturally go to.
Exactly.
And so that's really important that whenever you're picking a partner, if you're marrying a guy that has, he's the popular guy, he gets a lot of ladies, blah, blah, you're going to marry a man that is always going to have eyes looking at women. So like there's things that you have to understand who you pick. You have to understand you're going into a certain realm of activities that you're accepting.
Exactly.
Thank you. I'm going to wrap this one up with plenty of conversation. Here's what I'll say.
I love that. You're hot and you're smart. That'd be combo.
She said people don't change. You said that. I actually...
You taught me
I hear you. I taught you that, but you missed one thing out. Can you change someone?
No.
Is the question.
No.
The answer is no.
Worse.
But a person can change. That's the conversation we had. Do you think I can get this person to change? Not unless they want to change. Nothing you're going to say is going to motivate somebody to change. You brought up a really good point right there about reputation and redemption and forgiving and what you can do with that. Does the past matter? It matters for everybody. But who does it matter more for? It's clearly the woman. Because a man's future is what's more important, and a woman's past, like we talked about, you're gonna find out, oh my God, what happened right there. That's why, like, look at things like tattoos, look at things like scars, look at things like gray hair. If a man has tattoos, it's like, yo, this guy's all right, cool. If a guy has gray hair, like I have gray hair, people are like, I like a silver fox, cool. If a guy has scars, it's like, this guy's been through some shit. Show me a woman with tattoos, scars, and gray hairs. I'm like, I am out. That ain't happening. Show me a man with tattoos, scars, and gray hair. It's like, I want to hear some story what this guy's got to say. He might be the most interesting man in the world. That's what's happened. By the way, the more times a man has some cool stories, some travel stories, he's been through some stuff, some trauma that he's dealt with that actually makes him a better person. For a woman, much respect, the girl that I want to be with, whatever, dude, I don't want any scars, tattoos that are obnoxious. I don't need any gray hairs. I don't need any trauma stories. It's just sort of what we don't want. Ideally, everyone doesn't have a horrible checkered past that ruins your reputation. But a man, you said the word redemption, has way greater ability to redeem himself. Whereas a woman, I don't care what it is, unless you're some simp, pay pig type of guy, you're not going to settle for a girl with a very checkered past. No, you guys let me know. Are you coming to the vault? Oh, what's the vault? You know about the vault? The vault is the ultimate event for entrepreneurs to level up their game and learn from the best in the game. Last year, we had Tom Brady and Mike Tyson, and I said to our CEO, Patrick Bet-David, I said, how are we going to top that? He said, how we're going to top that? How about The Rock? So this year, Patrick Bet-David went out and got Dwayne The Rock Johnson. So he's going to be there along with PBD, the Biz Doc, and me. Yeah, if you want to join us at the Vault Conference, check out thevaultconference.com. It's going down in West Palm Beach, September 4th through 7th. If you want to make more money, improve your business, and expand your network, you have to be at the Vault. We'll see you there. Oh, you like that? Well, if you want to see more of that, check out this clip right here. And if you want even more, check out this clip right here, only on the SOSCAST.